Dr. Benjamin Trust, and good afternoon, Doctor. I'm very happy to stand here to talk about the tip and tricks in using SFA intervention and to use a directional and electromy and DCB. Uh, all of us to do the femoral story to stenosis, but in the top on the top of thighs, we if the tab A to tab C is something is very I want not complex. It's quite easy, and we can only to writing and to pull bar and or DCB, but when we miss a tidies like lesion, is it is sometimes it's very complex case. Uh, uh, Especially in the occlusion from the the bifurcation in PFA and SFA. It is the aim of my presentation about this tie. You see, if we miss a SFA CTO, we can see to see the image of the convex the image of the occlusion. Uh, if is convex two side, the proximal and the distant is convex image is so difficult case because we must do to see this tie we must do retrograde case, and it is if the uh, conscript two side maybe is we can integrate because it is easier ties of the CTOK in SFA. And if we go integrate, we have what we have techniques. We have a sliding technique, grinding technique, and penetrating technique, and put and toss. Almost of us is interventional doctor, so we have to do a lot of case coral intervention. So we always to want to cross the lesion with this technique, but sometimes in peripheral, especially in SFA CTO case, we integrate is very difficult. But we prefer to use loop right technique and with loop right with microcatheter with balance. But the loop right have a most problem is you can make the dissection in SFA large. So in the factor research, you see, they have a table for point in SFACTO. If the monography of proximal cap and degree of calcification and collateral present and number at 10. If it's a 10 point, if the factor in 1 to 3, it's really simple case, and we can to integrate. But the factor is about the 4 to 6 is the maybe is more difficult, and we must to combine the integrate and retrograde. And the overall success is reduced. It's only about 9100.7%. And if the factor is 7 to 10, it is reduced only 87.5%. And factor 7 to 10, we must to combine almost okay to use integrate and retrograde and use cut or reverse cut technique or safari, for example. We always to use the microcatheter to support the right or cross the lesion, but sometimes we don't have. In Vietnam, we have a Navicross, Chain Blaster, and Rubicon. Sometimes we have not yet. We can use the only simple for balance, but we must to combine two sides. It's very easy. Although we only have a balance with y for 0.035. When you go to undergrad, we have the star technique and star with mini contrast and mini star. But sometimes I think we don't try to go undergrad if we have not have experience. Because why? Because it is must to be a doctor who have experience to do undergrad and to have to spend a lot of instrument. And so if in Vietnam, if we don't have a more not much instrument, and sometimes we not we can we are not a professional of to Jesus SFA CTO case. What we do, we can to retrograde with cast technique or river cast technique, variant balance, and facilitate re-entry. And I always to prefer to do the cast and river cast technique. Re-entry is can be performed, but this device is so expensive. So, and it's not yet in Vietnam. It is to cross the lesion in CTO. The first time you must to try to integrate, but when you cannot to cross the lesion, we must to change other method to retrograde combine and to use cut or river cut. And you must, when the two wires to meet each other, you can to use a cast technique or river cast technique. This is in Vietnam. I can access from the polyrastery or in astery or tabular or posterior arterial for example for belong for the experience with the doctor. And the recommends about the SFA CTO is only accept for drug cost balance and drug stand desk, and sometimes we don't need we only to POPA. The result is good, but sometimes it's not support for sometimes we don't have or it's very expensive, so we can do with a simple thing. This is an integrated case. You see, it's concave. It's a very simple case. You see, we can to go integrate. Although I only have a balance and a right, and I always root map to side, and after I keep the loop right with a small loop, try to small loop, and go try when we cross the lesion, I try to rewrite for the two lumen, and after that I post balance and DCB is the last result is to have some small dissection, but I can accept. Sometimes we don't need to stanting if the dissection is very small. And some of the case is more difficult. You see this case, I must to go from the polyrastery and I can use the retrograde technique and river cast technique, and after we the right retrograde to cross the lesion, I use the one snare to catch the right and to pull back to the catheter. You see, this result is quite good. This is case. It's the first time the soft lesion of CTO, but when I go integrate, I cannot cross the lesion, so I choose. I must to choose the retrograde lesion, and this case I use card technique, and it is this lesion, the lesson about this case about sometimes you see it's very short CTO case, but sometimes if we do the loop technique is the outside in the suboptimal, so we must to stop and to change the other method. Maybe it's retrograde method. This case you see the first time is I think I can to go antegrade, but is tenosis in the proximal of SFA, and I try to go antegrade, but the dissection in the proximal, so I cannot go antegrade, so I must to choose to puncture from the polyastery and go retrograde, and this is result is quite good. And this case I have just to do 3 years ago. This case I cannot to go in the from the left to the right side. Use a forceps to the right side to go antegrade, but the bifurcation of my athoaliac is very difficult. So I must to puncture in the right, in the femoral of right, and to use a snare to pull back the forceps to go antegrade, and use the reverse cut technique to treat this patient. And I work sometimes in CTOK we should to check IVERS. If dissection with we dissection and we have consequences, sometimes we can use other method, maybe you rotation or alectomy, or use the laser. I know that in Thống Nhất Hospital in Dr. Tan you have experience about to use laser alectomy, and I hope in the future in Hanoi we have a laser alectomy, and I think it's a good device for this. The key is we must do very slow. Alectomy rotation. A lot of doctors have to report about this technique, and I think it's most thing is about the rotation is we can cast on the lesion outside, and to prepare the lesion is very carefully before we DCB or must to be standing, and the standing after we must remove the lesion, the calcium, and we can the stand in opposite. And how one I think it's the same rotation, but when the lesion is very big and is only one side, you can see the patient. I have experience to use this one because I perform about the 10 case with Hawk one, and the first is I think is the result is quite good. If we can combine with POBA or DCB, or maybe in the future we can use IVL. IVL, most we only to do in coronary intervention for coronary artery, but in the future maybe in Vietnam have a IVL for peripheral, especially in the SFA. I think it's suitable for SFA CTO case. And the DCB will DCB in sometimes we have a case. I have a case, but to use DCB and the flow after to use DCB, the blood flow is slow. Only TME 1 or 0, 1 or 2. Also, when we use DCB as SFA, we afraid of the TME flow. But in the future, maybe we have other DCB. Tungsten is reduce the cost. Occlusion SFA now can be to intervention very common and have a really good result. And retrograde with a factor higher than 4 is we must to choose. Retrograde is very common and a lot of center in Vietnam. And in the future, we must to combine with either rotation, alectomy, laser, or orbital, or tungsten. Thank you for your attention.